Why didn't we see Death Troopers after Rogue One? Well, because George didn't think of them in the original trilogy, and Disney wanted a clickbait new character. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm just kidding. The elite soldiers of Imperial intelligence, Death Troopers are encased in specialized Stormtrooper armor with a dark, ominous gleam. These soldiers served as bodyguards and enforcers for Director Krennic, a highly placed officer within the Advanced Weapons Research Division of the Empire. They served as protective bodyguards for important Imperial officers. Particularly, Death Troopers were revealed in Rogue One as Director Krennic's equivalent to Vader's 501st Legion. The troopers in black were only loyal to him and beckoned at his every command. We can also see them loyal to Thrawn in Rebels. Speaking in a tongue that seemed jarbled, coming out as muffled and incomprehensible to others, they stood at over 6'5" tall and were trained in unarmed combat, heavy weapons, and sniping. Specializing in commando missions, the troopers were experts at covering their tracks, leaving little to no evidence behind. They were required to surpass traditional Stormtrooper guidelines, including height and weight, and needed to meet certain ideological standards. The applicants were additionally subjected to a battery of physical tests and arranged surgical upgrades, making them beyond human. Moreover, these troopers needed to complete more rigorous training than standard Stormtroopers, including training in exotic environments, which came handy on Scarif. They were mostly assigned to small groups, with each trooper specializing in a specific skill set. So, with their elite fighting capabilities, sheer size, and overall dominance over regular Stormtroopers, it raises the question, where did they go? Why did they die out? Many Stormtroopers have died in Rogue One as well, but we still see them plenty throughout the saga. So, what's the reason? Well, it's an answer that is canon from the director himself, but it's pretty anticlimactic, which I understand Disney did want to have an ominous character to stand out in order to attract more attention. Gareth Edwards, the director, was actually asked about this in an interview, in which he said, "You don't see snowtroopers or speeder bikes in A New Hope." So I think it's fair to say that the Empire and Star Wars in general has different vehicles and different types of soldiers for particular areas of warfare. Being such a fan of Star Wars, the dream is to be able to add something to the equation and bring something to the table like Death Troopers and ships. But then you have to justify them not existing. You don't want to be contradicting the canon of the movies. If you watch the movie, all the U-Wings are kind of like the helicopters of Star Wars, and they all go in through the shield gate to Scarif, so they all get destroyed. And the Death Troopers, same thing happens to them. So we had to make sure anything significant like that, which was new, was going to get eradicated throughout the events of the film. So I have some mixed feelings about this. On one hand, I appreciate his insight for continuity, clearly as there weren't any extremely tall black stormtroopers walking around the Death Star. Something had to be done about their story arc. I like this. What I also find interesting about this is how Snoke's new Praetorian guards are each carrying a set of their own special skills, and are named the Guards of Evil. What I don't like is that they just throw new characters in, then make an excuse about their deaths, or don't even mention it at all, such as the Shore Troopers, which we don't see again unless surrounded by marine life. I also wonder if all the plans that we saw which were in the base on Scarif, which were destroyed with the Death Star, also contained the plans, schematics, and training routines for Death Troopers. This would kind of make a lot of sense, but you'd think they'd have copies of this. What are your thoughts on Death Troopers in general? Stay tuned for more Stormtrooper videos to come as voted by you on the Facebook page. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you all again in tomorrow's episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
the Force will be with you always.